Hey guys, so I got asked recently, how am I able to throw my hay nets on the ground, not tied up, not tethered, and have the horses not get tangled in them? So I'm going to show you real quick here how I tie these. I'm sorry, I'm kind of bent down because finding the right spot to set my phone to actually film when I don't have a helper or a tripod can be tricky sometimes. So anyway, I was going to show you too real quick. This is what my hay bags look like when I'm done. When I pick them up off the ground, this is what they look like. They're all bundled up at the top, and they do have a little bit of a tail, but often that tail twists up, and so there's not really any danger of a horse getting a foot in this. Now, I will say, all of my horses are barefoot, so I can see where if your horse has shoes on, this may not be a great option for you, but currently for my herd, no one has shoes, and so this option works really good for me. I really like the hay nets because it slows the horses eating down, and it makes them more of a grazer, and they also eat in a more natural position. I'm a big fan of trying to be as natural as possible while still realizing that we ask the horses to do things that are not natural to them. For instance, I will worm my horses periodically because in the wild, they don't graze over the same areas that they've pooped in a lot. But when we have to stall a horse, they're having to eat very near where they're pooping. And so that's how they're getting the worms. So on that kind of a thing, yes, I'm going to worm my horses. But on some other things, like having raised feeders all the time, I actually believe that that can cause a lot more digestion problems, airway problems. And so I feed my horses on the ground. I've never had an issue with that in 20 plus years of owning horses. I've always tried really hard to feed on the ground. And so that's what I do. Now that I've got these hay nets, I really love these. These happen to be Weaver hay nets. I am not associated with Weaver. I do not get any kind of endorsement or affiliation. This just happens to be the ones I'm using right now. I really like them. So I'm going to get to it now so you guys can see how I actually tie it. But I thought it was really cool to show you. This is an empty hay net from last night, and that's how it looks when it's all done. So here we go. I've put about 2.5 loose grass flakes into this black hay net, and this is how I'm going to tie it. So I like to find the tail end where the knot is tied, and I'm going to lift that up pretty far. Now, I like to compact these down as much as I can so that it's real tight, because that way the horses have to really work at eating it. And this hay is kind of loose, so I'm not getting quite as much tail up here as I normally do, but this is what I do. I get this tail up here, and then I'm going to take this and tie it around really tightly. And I keep my fingers, I don't know if you can see this, but I keep my fingers under that first wrap so that when I come back around, you'll see I go inside of this first wrap to create our little loop at the top. So I'm just going to wrap around, and I'm kind of working my way up this little knot until I'm going to get down to, right about here. So I only have a tiny bit of tail left. I'm going to take and move my fingers out of this hole that I have left here, and I'm going to take this knot and poke it underneath. And sometimes it's hard to get it up under there, but that's the point, is I want it tight. That's why I end up getting left with my little top knot on my nets when I'm all done. So there we go, it just popped through. Okay, so when I'm wrapping, I'm holding this part of this net like this with my fingers in it, and I go under my hand and I wrap around and around and around until I have just a little tail left, and then I pop that through there, and then I can cinch it down nice and tight, and that's all I have left, and I've got this nifty little top knot. So you can open it to put the hay in, push it really hard down, compact it down really good, get that top knot up there, grab hold of it, wrap, 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 keeping your fingers under here so that you've got space. And then as you come through and you get that tail, you just pop it through and cinch it down. And then I go toss them in the bottom of the horse's stalls. That's how I do it. I hope that's helpful, and talk to you guys later. Bye.